Welcome to the portal. My name is Robert, and in this video I'm going to show you how to build your CV on the portal if you have created your account but have not filled out your CV, or how to edit your CV if you have already filled out your CV so that you can start looking for jobs and of course apply to jobs when you find the vacancies you're looking for. Alright, so let's go to the portal, foras-jobs.com. This is for this video I'm actually picking up from where we left last time when we created the account, when we registered on Foras. So it tells me that the registration has been successful, which means I created the account but I don't have the CV now. So I'm going to click on account. Alright, as you can see, this is my account, and here you'll find my CV. Click on that. This one tells me please choose your nationality again, so I'm just gonna choose Iraq again and then proceed to create your account. And there we are. Okay, so we have three options for the CV building. The first one is using the online Foras CV builder, and this is basically a template. You just randomly insert or just enter information randomly and it will generate a CV for you, which is what we are working on today. This is the one that we're going to use, but you also have these options. So import from LinkedIn if you already have an account on LinkedIn, a completed account with your CV fully completed. You can just import from LinkedIn by signing in, or import from bait.com, which is a Middle East-wide job portal. If you already have an account on there and you have filled out your CV on Bait, you can just import from Bait. But we're going to use the CV builder, the Foras CV builder, so we're just going to click on that. Now this is your CV, or let's say my CV in this case. As you can see, it has different sections. So target job, personal information, contact information, experience, education, skills, languages, and all of that. And we're going to fill out those. If you look at here, your CV is incomplete. Complete the missing required CV sections to start applying for jobs. Unless you fill out your CV, you have no chance of getting jobs or phone calls for interviews actually. And it tells you your CV is incomplete. Nothing has been completed. If you complete these sections, fill out any section, it will show a percentage of how much you have finished of the CV, like 10%, 15%, 75%. But it's not going to show anything unless you first fill out the contact information, which is the most important section of the CV, because if your CV is really good, you have lots of experience, lots of several like degrees, let's say, very good skills, you speak 5 languages, but because you haven't finished this section, you do not have a phone number and email address in there, both phone number and email address, this will be incomplete, which means it will not show to employers that your contact information, and which means they cannot contact you even if they really like you, even if they want to give you the job right away without interview. You will still not be able to get the job because you don't have that contact information. So, but I'm going to start right at the top, and I'm going to show you how it's not going to show anything here, although we fill this out. So target job, click on edit. This target job section is where you tell the employer what kind of jobs you're looking for. So anything that has this red asterisk here, or it says this field is required, it has to be filled out. Anything that does not have the asterisks or does not have this field is required message, it's optional and you can just leave it. The first one, list the titles of the jobs that you're looking for. For example, English teacher, and then comma, this is one of the jobs I'm looking for, trainer, comma, translator, comma, let's say a reporter or editor, something like that, Okay. So these are the jobs I'm looking for. One important thing here is a couple of important things here actually. The keywords that you put in here need to be job titles, not job roles. For example, English teacher is a job title. Teaching English is a job role. It's not a title. Don't put keywords like English teaching, training, translation, media, reporting, and things like that, or editing. Why? And the reason is that when employers post jobs, they will not post the jobs as English teaching or training or translation. They would post it as translator, English translator, field reporter, or copy editor, or English teacher. This is how they would post it, and that's why the system needs to find that kind of matching between your keywords and those. And the other important thing is you need to separate the words, the keywords, with a single comma and then followed by a space. So English teacher, comma, space, trainer, comma, space, translator, and so on. Job location, where do you want to work? I want to work in Erbil, but you might also want to work in another province as well, for example, in Kirkuk. Or you can just remove this if you're not interested in those other provinces. Career objective, this is optional. You can fill it out, you can leave it, but what this is, it is a brief statement of what you are looking for. Employers are going to see this before they move on to your experiences and education. So it might be a good idea to fill this out and kind of let the employer what kind of person you are and what you're looking for. Just for example, I am a very hard working person with experience in several fields, including translation, media, let's say teaching and training. I am looking for a job or a position where I can use my skills and experiences to achieve, for example, organizational goals. Okay. And then target industry, the company you're looking or you're seeking a job with. What do you want that company to be working in? Do you want it to be working in advertising, administration, architecture, arts, automotive? I wouldn't choose anything because I don't care as long as it's an English teacher job, a trainer, a translator, or a reporter, or something like that. Whether it's an oil and gas company or it's an advertisement agency. I would leave these as well as this one too, because most of the jobs are actually full-time, but you can also click on it and say, I want a full-time job. Don't choose any target monthly salary because that's gonna limit your, it's not good in two ways. One is that, for example, if you say, I'm looking for this job and I'm asking for $1,200 per month, you might find a job where the employer has actually set the monthly salary has set a much more monthly salary. Let's say the employer is actually giving $2,000, but because this employer saw your CV that you're asking for $1,200, they're not going to give you that $2,000 now because they know you're not asking for much. The other way is, for example, you might be asking for this amount, but the company might be willing to pay $1,000, and they see your CV and you're asking for a couple of hundreds more than what they're offering, so they might not call you at all, and you might actually negotiate and accept the $1,000 if you really need the job urgently or you don't have any other better jobs, you still want to be contacted and negotiate this. That's why don't miss any chances. Don't put any numbers in there. Career level, are you a person who has just graduated and does not have any experience? That's entry level. Are you a student or you're looking for an internship with a company for a few months? Or are you somebody who has a few years, 3, 4, maybe 5 or 7 years of experience? Or are you a person who has over 10 years of experience and you're looking for a management level or even more than that? So I'm going to just pick mid-career. When are you willing to start your new job? If we give you a call and if we like your CV and say, okay, you got the job, when will you start? Immediately, 1 month or less, 3 months or less, 6 months or less, and so on. So I'm going to choose immediately. I'm not going to talk about money. I'm just going to save this part. Okay, we finished the target job, but as you can see here, it doesn't show anything yet as complete. Although this might account for maybe 10%, but it doesn't show anything because as I said, it won't show anything unless you have the contact information filled out. Let's go to personal information now. My name and let's say family name here, gender, date of birth, nationality here. If you have additional nationality, put it in here. Married, unspecified, single or married. I'm going to choose this. You can ignore it, it doesn't matter. You can choose unspecified. Number of dependents are actually the number of people who depend on you for the living. Like your children and so on, or your wife if she's not working, or if your husband if he's not working. So let's say 1. Do you have a driving license? From which country? Save. Okay, I finished 2 sections, still not showing anything. So I'm gonna go to the contact information. I'm gonna put my number in there. Oops. Okay. That's my number here, work number. And then I'm gonna, the country is already Iraq, the city. I'm gonna choose that. And then these are optional, whether you wanna put your address in there or not. I'm not gonna put my address in there, so I'm just gonna save this. Now you can see 52% of the CV is complete now, which means I am ready now to apply for jobs, but still not really ready because, by ready, I mean you can now apply because you have the contact information, what you're looking for, and your personal information, but still not ready in the sense that you really haven't listed your experience, what kind of experiences you have, what degrees you have, what skills you have, because these are the most important skills that, the most important sections that let's say employers will be looking at: experience, education, and skills. These are what they will be looking at. Okay, so you need to have these so that they go to the contact information section to get your number or your email. They will be looking at these first. So let's go ahead and put some experiences in there. Click on add. Do you have experience? Yes. When did you, let's say I'm just going to choose January so that I can easily fill this out. So I started this job in January 2002 and I finished, let's say, in April 2005. It was in Iraq, in Erbil city. You can enter the address of the company. You can leave it because it's optional. Company name, let's say Good Company. I'm just going to name it Good Company because it's not real. And then company industry, let's say it was working in arts, media, entertainment. And then my role was training. Let's say my position was, let's say, senior trainer. And then work description, this is important. What were your responsibilities, main tasks and responsibilities? What did you do and what did you accomplish. You can put all these in there. So I can, let's say, prepared training materials, conducted training sessions of staff, coordinated training events with the department, and so on. Just type in your daily activities. So I'm gonna leave this for you. Whatever your job description is, just fill it out and then save. There you go. That's my first experience. I put it on there. If you have more experience, like you have worked for 3, 4, 5 more companies, you can just add more and then add more and then add more. Or you can delete this one, edit this one, whatever you want to do. Education, this is where you list your degrees. Let's say Oxford University, let's say. I wish I had a degree from Oxford. It's not real, but I'm just going to put Oxford University in there. So the country would be United Kingdom. The city would be, where is that? Is it in Belfast? Oh, shit. This is the name of the institution where you got your degree, your university or institute or whatever that is. So I'm going to put Salahuddin University in there. The country was Iraq. Oops, not Ireland, Iraq. Not Iceland. Okay, so the city is Erbil, although it's optional. I'm going to put it there. So what was the degree that I got? It was a bachelor's. And what was the major? I got a bachelor's in what? So bachelor's English language and literature. What was my grade? There are different grading systems here. 4-point GPA is an American grading system. Percentage is Iraqi, and in many other countries it's out of 100. So I'm just going to click on percentage, and let's say my percentage was 80%. 80 out of 100. I finished this in July, let's say 2000. I'm going to put it, okay, so let's say 2008. Description, you can put a description of the, sometimes it's important to add a description here because it relates to, it's related to the job description. For example, they are asking for good communication skills and things like that. And for your, let's say, bachelor's, you studied communication classes, that's directly related to the job. It's something good to mention that as part of my BA, I studied communication courses. So I'm just going to save this one. If you have more degrees, PhDs, masters, diplomas, and things like that, just click add and add more. Skills, you can, again, whatever skills you have, put them on there. And a skill is whatever that you learn after you train, you are, let's say, after you get training on this, or after you have experience actually doing it. That's a skill, because you wouldn't be able to do it without the training or without the experience. So let's say Microsoft Office suite, and by that I mean Word, Excel, PowerPoint. This is my first skill. I can use these software well. So I'm going to choose intermediate here, and I've been using them for more than 10 years now. I'm using it every day, so I'm just going to choose the first one. Last time I used it was 1 month or less, 3 months or less, 6 months or less. We don't have less than a month, let's say a week or less. So the first thing would be even if I'm using it right now today, but that's the closest I can choose. So save, add more skills, whatever skills you have, time management, organizational skills, put them on there, communication skills, put them on there, time management and things like that, all of it, put it on here. It's gonna enhance your CV. What languages you speak, put all of the languages on there. So let's say Arabic, intermediate, 10 years or less. Save that. Choose another language, English. Of course, you are speaking more than one language. Let's say expert. I would like to call myself an expert. So more than 10 years, 1 month or less, and then so on. Add another one, let's say Kurdish, intermediate expert, because that's my mother tongue. So more than 10 years, 1 month or less, and then save. And of course, if you're speaking more languages, Persian, Turkish, Spanish, French, whatever other languages you're speaking, just put them on there because it's gonna enhance your CV. References, you don't need to put your references on there. The references are people whom you worked with, and ideally it would be your manager or your supervisor, but your colleagues can also be your references. So when you apply to a new job, and this is true especially with the international organizations, they will contact your previous supervisors or managers or your previous colleagues to ask information about you, to ask them for information about you, things like about your personality, your work performance, and things like that. You don't need to put them on there because if they really like you and they want to contact your references, they will ask you for references. Otherwise, if they don't like your CV, they will not be contacting your references, even if you have 25 references on there. Membership, if you are a member of a group, a syndicate, or a union or something, put it on there, whether it's professional or academic. If you have a CV that is ready somewhere on your computer, you can just attach that as an attachment. This section, it has primary CV settings. The first one, set as searchable CV. Second, set CV as confidential. Now, if you activate the first one, set as searchable CV, it means employers on the portal, people who have jobs and are looking for candidates, when they search for candidates, they can find your CV and look at your CV to see if you're qualified. Set CV as confidential. If you click this one and activate this one, it means employers on the portal who have jobs, they will not be able to find your CV even if they look for it, even if their job matches with your, for example, target job title. You're looking for a translator, they have a translator job, and they're looking for a translator. They're typing in the keyword translator, but they will still not be able to find your CV and view it because you have set it as confidential. Why would people do that? Because some people want to have their information privacy protected. Some other people are don't want to do that for security reasons, and for whatever reason, this is the basic function of these two. This one allows people to see your CV and invite you to interviews and things like that. This one does not allow anybody to see your CV except the ones you specifically want them to see. And in this case, you have to apply to a job so that they can see your CV. For example, you find a job as a translator, and when you click on apply, your CV will go to them. Although it's confidential, they will still be able to see it because you want them to see it. You gave them permission to see it by applying to their job. Nobody else will be able to see it. All right, that's about everything that I can show you about the CV building. I hope all of you complete your CVs 100% and try to find the jobs you are interested in and you think you're qualified to, and start applying to jobs, and hopefully all of you find jobs.